All right, let's talk about goals. You've probably set some for the new year, right? Just like you did last year and probably the year before that. But if we're being totally honest with ourselves, for most people, 365 days from now, not a whole lot is actually going to be different. So, in this explainer, we're going to build a blueprint to make sure this year isn't just another repeat. So, let's start with a number 92%. Think about that for a second. That is the percentage of people who give up on their New Year's resolutions. It's an absolutely staggering failure rate. And it tells you one thing very clearly. The way most of us are taught to approach our goals, it's fundamentally broken from the get-go. So, that's the real question, isn't it? How do you become part of that tiny 8% who actually follow through? The people who don't just dream about their goals, but actually make them happen. Well, I can tell you it's not about magic, and it's not even about having some kind of superhuman willpower. It's about having a better system. And over the next few minutes, that's exactly what we're going to build together, piece by piece. First, we'll figure out what's wrong by looking at the resolution trap. Then, we'll make a crucial change in our thinking with the system shift. From there, we'll get practical by architecting your year, powering it up with a daily execution engine, and finally, we'll bring it all together into one single integrated system. Okay, first up, the resolution trap. Here's the thing. The reason so many goals fail isn't because you're lazy, and it's not because you lack motivation. It's because the entire idea of an annual resolution is frankly a terrible strategy. You're playing a game that is rigged against you from day one. And here's exactly why it's such a flawed approach. A 12-month timeline is just way too long. It completely kills any sense of urgency. I mean, in January, December feels like a lifetime away, which makes it super easy to say, oh, I'll start tomorrow. This leads right to that classic December push, you know the one, where we try to cram an entire year's worth of work into a few panicked weeks. It's just a really stressful and ineffective way to get things done. Which leads us perfectly to our second big idea, the systems shift. This is the core mindset change you absolutely have to make. It's all about shifting your identity from being a passive resolution maker to becoming an active architect of your own life. Let's break down what that really looks like. The old, obsolete model is all about passively finding yourself, just hoping that willpower will be enough to get you there. But the architect's model is about actively constructing yourself. You see the difference? It's a huge shift from being goal-oriented to being systems-based. You stop relying on willpower, which we all know runs out, and you start building a new identity. You're not just hoping for success, you're building the machine that produces it automatically. Okay, this next point is a big one, so listen up. The inputs you allow into your life, the content you consume, the podcasts you listen to, the people you surround yourself with, they are directly, literally shaping who you become. Your environment architects your future. So what you do? You have to conduct an audit. Go through your social media and unfollow every single account that makes you feel drained or lessened. Be ruthless about cutting back on short-form content. It's designed to destroy your brain's reward system and kill your ability to do deep, focused work. Instead, you need to intentionally fill your feeds with content that aligns with your goals. And maybe most importantly, audit your top 5. The 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they lifting you up? Do they align with the person you want to become? And this quote just nails it. This is the real heart of the systems mindset. The goal isn't just to get a result like, say, lose 10 pounds. No, the real goal is to become a specific type of person, someone who is naturally active and healthy. See, when you embody that identity, the result you want just becomes a natural byproduct of who you are. Okay, so that's the mindset. How do we actually apply this stuff? Well, that brings us to part 3, architecting your year. This is where we get into the strategic blueprint, the actual plan for structuring your time and your focus to get the biggest impact. And the key here is to completely abandon the old annual plan and adopt something called the 12-week year model. Just think about it for a second. With this, you basically get 4 new years every year, 4 fresh starts. When you treat every 12 weeks like it's a full year, it creates this constant, healthy sense of urgency. It forces you to plan more often, and it lets you course correct really, really fast. So instead of 1 shot at success, you get 4. The method itself is actually beautifully simple. First, you establish your long-term vision, your North Star, so you always know the direction you're heading. Then, for each 12-week sprint, you pick only 1 to 3 critical goals. This is huge for maintaining focus. Next, you break those big goals down into concrete weekly tactics. And finally, and this is probably the most important part, you measure your actions, not the results. You track whether you did the work you said you would do because that's the only thing you truly have control over. Now, here's a really powerful, kind of counterintuitive part of this strategy: defining your anti-goals. Success isn't just about what you add to your life, it's very often about what you take away. You need to clearly define the things you will actively avoid. This could be something like no checking your phone for the first hour of the day, or no saying yes to commitments just because you feel guilty. And this brings us to another key tactic. You have got to focus on actions, not results. Look, you can't directly control losing 10 pounds or getting 100,000 subscribers. There's too much luck and too many variables involved. But what you can control is how many times you go to the gym or how many videos you create. Your goals absolutely must be tied to the inputs that you have 100% control over. Okay, so we've got our high-level strategy, but a great strategy is completely useless if you don't take action consistently. So that brings us to part 4, the daily execution engine. This is what we build the daily habits that make the entire system run almost on autopilot. Look, the highest leverage part of your entire day is the first hour. Most people completely lose the day before it even begins because they immediately start reacting to their phone. Instead, you have to own that first hour. Don't touch your phone, hydrate, move your body a bit, and review your top priorities for the day. This one simple routine stops you from starting your day in a state of total reactive chaos. Now, let's be real for a minute. You are going to slip up. You'll miss a day. Perfection is not the goal here. Resilience is. And the 2-day rule is your safety net. It's simple. You can miss a workout once, but you are not allowed to miss it twice in a row. This simple little rule prevents one bad day from spiraling into a bad week or a bad month. And that leads us to a bit of a hard truth. Every single goal you have has a price. That price might be your time, it might be your focus, or it might be giving something up that you enjoy, like scrolling on social media. You have to be brutally honest with yourself about whether you're truly willing to pay that cost. If you want the results that the top 1% have, you have to be willing to make the sacrifices that the other 99% just won't. And that brings us to our final takeaway. Let's put all of this together into your own integrated system. This is all about understanding how these different pieces, the mindset, the strategy, the daily habits, all fit together to create a single powerful machine. Because ultimately, it all comes down to this one incredibly powerful idea. Your goals don't determine your success. Your systems do. You don't magically rise up to meet your ambitions. In moments of stress or tiredness or distraction, you will always fall back to the level of your daily systems and habits. So the game isn't about setting bigger, crazier goals. It's about building better, more reliable systems. So the blueprint is here. The strategies, the tactics, the mindset shift, it is all laid out for you. The only question left is the one that only you can answer for yourself. Are you willing to pay the cost? Thank you for watching till the end. Wishing you a very happy New Year 2026. May this year move you closer to the goals that truly matter to you. Like, share, and subscribe for more content like this.